How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now, and I really do appreciate you taking your time tuning into my video. I think you guys are going to get a really good kick out of this, just like I did. The District of Columbia has agreed to pay over $5 million to gun owners for violating their Second Amendment rights. The District of Columbia has settled a class action lawsuit filed by 6 gun owners who were arrested in the nation's capital for violating gun control laws that have since been struck down by the courts, agreeing to pay millions of dollars to the plaintiffs and their attorneys for infringing on their Second Amendment rights. The settlement received a preliminary approval from a federal judge on Wednesday, with the district agreeing to fork over $5.1 million. Each of the 6 named plaintiffs will receive $50,000 under the terms of the agreement, with a larger class of affected gun owners splitting up several million dollars between them. U.S. District Judge Royce C. Lambert gave preliminary approval to the settlement agreement on Monday. Following years of litigation, Lambert had previously ruled in September 21 that D.C. arrested, jailed, prosecuted, and seized guns from 6 people based on an unconstitutional set of laws and violated their Second Amendment rights. The laws, a ban on carrying handguns outside the home, and others that effectively banned non-residents from carrying guns at all in D.C., have since been struck down in federal court. They were part of a gun control regime that completely banned carrying handguns in public. Lambert wrote in his 2021 ruling. Those arrested included lead plaintiff Maggie Smith, a nurse from North Carolina who was pulled over by D.C. police for a routine traffic stop in June of 2014. According to the court documents, Smith, who had no criminal record, informed officers her car contained a pistol that was licensed in her home state, for which police promptly arrested her, seizing her gun and taking her to jail, where she stayed overnight. In another case, Jared Cassignol, a Maryland resident that was driving home from his job in North Virginia when he got pulled over in the district. When police asked if he had a gun in the vehicle, he said yes, giving the police the combination to a locked safe where he kept it. He was ultimately jailed for 2 nights for gun charges. The charges were dropped in both those cases, in others after the ruling in Palmer. But for some, the damage was done. Cassignol lost his job after the arrest. Another plaintiff had his top secret security clearance placed under review, while D.C. argued at the time that the arrestees should have done their research about D.C. gun laws or attempt to license them before driving through the district with guns. Judge Lambert found that those actions would have been futile. Judge Lambert also wrote in his 2021 ruling there were no actions that the plaintiffs could have taken during the time period in question that would have allowed them to carry a gun for self-defense in the District of Columbia. While Heller struck down D.C.'s ban on handguns, it was the Palmer case that opened the door for concealed carry in the district. The case never reached the Supreme Court because gun control activists convinced D.C. officials to take the loss after an appellate court ruled that D.C.'s prohibition on bearing arms in self-defense was a violation of their Second Amendment rights. The gun control lobby was playing keep away from SCOTUS at that time and decided it was better to adopt a restrictive carry regime rather than risk the court delivering a nationwide precedent on the right to carry. Of course, we got that anyway in Bruin, so resistance turned out to be futile for the prohibitionists. Wouldn't you love to see this settlement come straight out of the bank accounts of D.C. officials who approve these laws? But for better or for worse, that's not how the system works. Instead, it will be the taxpayers who are ultimately coughing up cash to settle the lawsuit. Will the settlement make the D.C. City Council less inclined to violate our Second Amendment rights going forward? I wouldn't count on it, but at least they've been put on notice that future infringements will cost the city dearly going forward. Judge Lambert made the right decision in this case, and it makes me feel all warm inside to know that the District of Columbia has to pay $5 million in this case. It's too bad it's not a lot more. As always, I would really like to hear your thoughts about the story in the comment section down below. And I appreciate everybody's support with the channel and helping it grow. You guys are always crushing it by liking, sharing, and subscribing and hitting those post notifications. And I invite everybody back to see my next video.